Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, Dr. Anand here. The CD is not working, the USB is not working, but we are working. Will someone come and help, please? We're trying to run a studio here. There's no feed working at all from all my devices, so you'll have to bear with my voice. And we've got some very interesting people in the studio. We have fantastic Wheelchair Steve.
Morning, afternoon.
Otherwise, officially on Sundays called
Steve Wilkinson.
Steve Wilkinson, and we'll hear about what wonderful things he's doing. And we've got Rizwan Khan here. Wasn't that the hero in My Name is Khan and I'm Not a Terrorist?
My name is Khan, and I'm not a terrorist.
So, आप Rizwan Khan हो?
Yeah, I am Rizwan Khan, and Mr. President.
क्या बात है? How did you like that movie?
It was okay. It was not too bad. A little bit far-fetched.
But the reality is like that. If you're a Muslim, you're automatically a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I'll give you an example. I'm filming Palestine a lot. When I get engaged in an issue, I'm like a British bulldog. Ghus gaye to sale ghus gaye.
Yeah.
So I'm filming that. I went to a lot of people acting as if they are dead. So there were 500 people. Okay? Of the 500 people, about 460, I counted, were white people. Maybe there was one Muslim like Daniel. Maybe. So maybe there were about 50 Muslim people. Fine. Out of them, there were about 12, 13 people who were women. And obviously Muslim koi hijab hai, koi kuch hai. Ya Punjabi clothes they are wearing. Chalo, wo bhi theek hai. There were 3 women in hijab, 2 in a burqa. 2 in a burqa. And guess what? The picture in the Evening Chronicle was that one woman in a burqa. As if there were 500 people in a burqa.
Yeah.
So the media, and I say this loudly, Evening Chronicle, you should be ashamed of yourself. David Stockdale put up the Palestinian flag. That's a nishani thing. It wasn't serious that Palestine is coming to conquer Britain, but it's like saying we support you. People are dying there, and all these little things they might see on YouTube gives someone a little hope, isn't it? Yeah. So the media is straight away, I'm talking quite seriously now, just because your name is Rizwan Khan, and I know the movie is, but the reality is like that. My best friend is Sayyid Ahmad, Hassan Ahmad, right? He goes to America to look for a job. 7 days later, 9/11 happened. Do you think he'll get a job with a name like Sayyid Hassan Ahmad?
Nope.
No, he didn't. I mean, it is like that, isn't it? I mean, racism...
Well, this is judging people in groups, isn't it?
Yes.
You assume, what we were talking earlier on about, everybody's an individual. It doesn't matter whether you have a disability, what colour your skin is.
Yes. Every individual, every human is completely...
You get labelled.
Yes.
With whatever...
The labels flying around. Yeah. So, we'll talk about disability with you in some depth. You brought me a fantastic book called Sumo, S full stop, U full stop, M full stop, U full stop. Can you read a piece from it? What inspires you? You're obviously a very inspired guy.
Yeah, this is written by a good friend of mine, a professional speaker called Paul McGee, and it's quite a few years ago. And Sumo stands for Shut Up, Move On. And it's a way.
Shut up and move on.
It's getting around it's people hanging on to old problems and saying, look, don't bear the grudge or whatever. Think about it. And there's I think there's about 10 different. This is a classic one. Where's the beach ball? I like the beach ball one. Let me just find the page. It shows how people look at the world differently.
It's perspectives, isn't it?
Yes. And the thing about...
Rizwan here, born in the UK, happens to be Muslim, happens to be a Geordie, will be a different perspective from Rizwan that was in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people just label because people are lazy.
Yeah, I think it's like a human nature thing as well. We've got this need to want to pigeonhole everybody.
Then you don't have to work hard and finding out individuality.
Yeah.
Now that you're making ties and all, it's hardly, your clothes are amazing. I mean, your bush shirt, what is it made from?
Sorry,
the shirt you're wearing.
This is, I think it's like a cotton.
But where did you get it from?
Well, this is just from a high street retail.
But because you were talking about ties and things, I labelled you with your shirt is also fascinating and interesting. So really, people, I think it's laziness that not finding out. So people in wheelchairs are this. Go on.
Can I read this bit? There's various segments about it. And this one is called Remember the Beach Ball. And if you think about beach ball, different colours, different patterns every side. So it's about really seeing it differently. It's the same beach ball, but your view from one side is different from the other. And this talks about the ability to achieve better results comes through helping others do the same. Whether your needs are emotional, psychological, or practical, the chances of them being fulfilled increase when you help others meet their needs. So how can we achieve this? In order for this to happen, we need to develop a greater understanding and awareness of the people we deal with in our day-to-day lives. We need to get inside their heads of the people and we meet in order to see the world from their viewpoint. To explain this further, well, he goes on to talk about examples. But that thing there is, I've got to understand. There's no good me telling you this is what the world's like. I've got to understand how you see
how your eyes see the world.
And that's what we have the problems with.
Well, in counseling, they teach you to walk in the Red Indians' moccasins for a mile, to see what it feels like being somebody else.
Well, that's what I've always pushed about getting people to try and spend some time in a wheelchair, because it's no good telling people how you kind of get into places and stuff like that. But if you say, well, sit in that wheelchair and spend a full day, not just half an hour. So, that was interesting. I want business leaders and I want council leaders and politicians
to really feel
to do the normal day's work. Not just to go in for a little while and do something false.
Just for the photographs.
Do your own day.
Yeah.
What you would do, you get up in the morning, you've got to get to work. So instead of driving the car, you've got to go on the bus. Well, that's difficult going on a bus. You've got to get on a train. Difficult going on a train. You've then got to get into the offices where you work. Difficulties again. Go out for some lunch. All those sort of things. Now, when it relates to what you would normally do, you understand it better. Putting somebody in a wheelchair for half an hour to see what it's like and push it round. That's
a different few. Thing. Thank God for that. I'm not in there. Yeah. I pity them, but I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, the pity is another thing.
Yes, that happens pity puts people down.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't want anybody to pity me. If I didn't have the wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to get out and about. So
but there's a place called Pity Me, isn't there?
Yes, somewhere in Durham, yes.
What kind of people live there?
Poor people that say, pity me.
What a name. But empathy is different from sympathy.
Yes.
The words mean the same technically, etymologically. Sympathy means symbiosis means together. But sympathy in ordinary English means putting someone down, actually. Poor you, there. Oh, you poor Asian. Oh, you poor Muslim guy. Oh, you poor guy Hindu. Oh, you poor guy in a wheelchair. But empathy is seeing it from their eyes, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So one friend of mine's wife asked me, what religion are you? Because you're always on the radio talking about different religions. I said, look, I was born in a Hindu family. I grew up in a Christian school. My partner was until recently Jewish. But when I go to the mosque, I'm as much Muslim as you. And when I go into a church, like when I go to Goa, there's the body of Francis Xavier there. And I could say, the dead body is still there. As a Muslim, you would say he should have been buried. As a Hindu, I'll say he should be cremated. But he is there. I get tears in my eyes. That compassion to reach out. It's a very high level to see the world through somebody else's eyes. And I think you're not a human if you can't reach out. I really believe that. No, if I can't see your troubles and feel them. So, we started Spice Trust only because I saw a child, the story goes like this. I was watching what's going on in India last year, massive floods and all that. Chalo, garib desh hai, what can we do? And then the reporter saw a man bringing a child across the very shallow river, put him down and gave the boy food, boy called Vikas. And he's only 5 and he's a cute little thing and he's eating away. So the reporter said to the man who brought him across, is that your son? He said, no, I don't even know who he is. I found him clinging to a tree or something. I brought him across. So the reporter was very moved that insaniyat, we still have human feelings. So the camera turned on the boy and the reporter said to the boy, kya naam hai bete? Vikas. Ma baap mar gaye. And he kept on eating. So the guy's not bothered about his parents. He's so hungry. He's right down to the basics of survival, that little boy. He's an orphan. You and I get tears in our eyes, but he doesn't. And that day I decided not to send 50 pounds to the Delhi. Sikhs are quite hardworking and very seva orientated. Of all the religions I met, they put in a lot of effort. So, and they don't cheat, to my knowledge. So I thought I'd send $50. And I thought, no. So we started Spice Trust. Then again, when was Syria? Massive rising around October, November. So again, a child froze to death. I mean, Syria is a rich country, It's a rich, modern country. Mm-hmm. It's hardly Muslim, it happens to be Muslim, but it doesn't promote that. It's a fairly, there's a king there and all that, but it's a fairly open-hearted, for a child to freeze to death there really takes the cake. And then on Christmas time, we did a huge food thing for the church here. And now we are working for Palestine because children are getting killed. I mean, for 2,000 Palestinians, 70 Israelis have died. Of the 2,000, 75% of the Palestinians are civilians. Of them, half are children. And Israel has the most precise weapons. It knows what it's doing. Hamas can send a rocket, it goes and hits this, hits that. They are doing their best. It's like the British ruling India. My father put bombs on railway lines, by the way. I'm proud to tell you that. He was a terrorist. My father was a terrorist, by the way. Hear that again. My father was a terrorist. My father was a terrorist. I'm a terrorist too. So anybody we don't like is a terrorist.
Yes.
And once the terrorist...
Again, the label, isn't it?
Yes. And once the terrorist wins, he's a freedom fighter. My father is a freedom fighter now, I'll say. And history is written by conquerors. So, all this business. But what I really feel bad that Jewish people have had a very bad past in World War II. It's terrible, 6 million. But everyone forgets that 1 million of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs also died post-partition. Nobody talks about it. They don't matter. They're brown-skinned, you see.
Because the history is not as well documented.
Yes, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
So Red Indians, 50 million Red Indians were killed. Stalin killed another 50 million people. And Hitler didn't kill only Jews. He killed 10 million Slavs, 500,000 gays, and disabled people he killed.
No chance.
So,
No, I went to the Holocaust Museum in Washington about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was traumatic to see that anybody. I would have been bummed off, I mean,
because you're disabled.
Yeah, you're just no use to society. And in his society anyway.
And in India, we got the freedom ultimately through Mr. Nehru and Mr. Gandhi. I say that with some sneer. But the older ones that killed themselves, like Bhagat Singh, went and hanged himself by putting a bomb in against the Brits, against General Dyer, because his whole family was blown up. We don't talk about them. It's all dynastic. And the point I was going to make is Subhash Chandra Bose fought from outside India. He said to the British, look, half the soldiers who are fighting for you are Indian, meaning India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and most of them are Sikhs. And he said to the soldiers, can you stand in uprising against the Brits? They said, nahi, namak khaya hai. We owe our loyalty. So that was his problem. Then he goes to Hitler and says, please help. Now, Hitler hated the British, but because the guy was brown, he was so racist that he said, no, I won't help. Then he went to Stalin, who said, no, I don't trust you. You were probably hand in glove with the Brits. It's amazing. I mean, this is all recorded history, So I like talking about these things because people don't know the truth. It's all Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah, Gandhi, Nehru, Gandhi, Nehru, Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah, Gandhi, Nehru. What did these guys do except divide us? And do you know that India is not independent even today? India is not independent. Do you know who gave Mr. Mountbatten gave his wife to Nehru and in exchange gave the power to India. Nehru took over the power of the Mountbatten chap into India. They didn't make India independent. They handed over power. It's like giving the keys. And Nehru gladly accepted it. So there's a lot of jiggery-pokery goes on. How do you feel knowing and talking about these matters? I mean, you're born here. You bothered about any of this? Rizwan?
I don't know.
It's an old hat, isn't it?
It's yeah. It's
Buddhon ki
done,
kahani.
it's dusted. It's over.
Then, how can we make India and Pakistan not fight with each other? We are the same people. We eat the same food.
Yeah.
We talk the same language.
It's funny you should say that because, like, setting up this small company of mine.
What's the company called?
It's called Pangaea.
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 Pangaea. What does that
Pangaea.
mean? What does that mean?
So what it is it's an old scientific theory that before the dinosaurs, before humans inhabited the earth, all the continents were all part of one landmass. Yeah, so
it's not. It's an actual theory. The different
so,
tectonic plates.
Yes, exactly.
The India plate, Europe plate, and all were different.
Yeah, they were all one. Australia, the Americas,
in fact, the Indian
Antarctica.
plate pressed into Asia and created Mount Everest like a fold.
Exactly. Yeah. So that when all those continents were one, the name scientists have given that is Pangaea.
Meaning what? Pangaea sounds like a Punjabi word. Oh, Panji. No, but it's a very high level.
I understand what you mean. It's a Greek.
Okay.
It's a Greek word, and
it doesn't mean a collection of. Pan means all.
Yes,
Pan American, pan this, pan that. Huh?
Yeah. So
wow.
What it means is just one.
What a beautiful name, Steve. What do you think?
Yes, yeah, it's interesting.
I think we should create a society.
What does it do, the business?
So the business is basically just me designing sort of household products, mostly men's fashion accessories.
Bring it out and show it to him.
Yeah. So
all right, that was where the ties came from.
Yeah.
These are lovely ties.
Yes, this is an example of a tie. And this is made from a bamboo and cotton blended fabric.
How can you blend bamboo with cotton? Bamboo is stiff, cotton is soft.
Well, it goes through
it's solid. It's like
a process of crushing the bamboo, and then what the weavers
So
do
where
is
do you get these weird ideas from? Beautiful ideas.
just my mind, I suppose.
No, I really salute this guy.
Have you got? I mean, one of the things where, and I've seen it start to happen is you're getting sort of recycled plastic and stuff. Then when there's a bottle of water, you make fibre out of that
You
when it's
can, yeah,
finished,
yeah.
and then you make a. Oh, you've got one of these as well.
But no,
Wooden cufflinks.
We have an Evian water bottle tie.
but these here are wooden cufflinks, which
Beautiful.
I designed myself.
Wow.
And
out of an Evian water bottle.
These are sorry, not Evian water bottle, but these are made from old hammer sticks.
What hammer sticks?
So the handle of a hammer.
Handle of
now,
wow, what an artist he is, man.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
you probably
I'm
get
impressed,
loads.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
you're gonna
very
get,
impressed.
You're going to get a lot of them out of one
But
hammer.
these are actually just a sample piece sort of thing.
Okay, how many ties do you have there?
ties? I have a number.
And how much are you selling them for?
The ties retail for £15 each.
Okay.
There's another one. And again, you can see I make them different to regular ties. So you've got one colour fabric at the front and a separate one on the back.
You are crazy.
So they're reversible.
Yeah.
He's
So
cra-
they're
no,
not reversible, but
if you
get
reverse
a very
them, it look
unique-
like stupid.
You
No, what I love about him, you know,
purple and pink
see,
goes well together.
what-
He's a skinny tie.
do you know what you are? Do you know what you are? I was telling him, there are people who step outside the box.
Yeah.
And one or two appreciate them. Most people hate them because they don't have the guts to step outside the box.
Yeah.
Sahi baat hai na?
Yeah, very
Whether
true,
you take it in religious terms or country terms or idea terms, you are an outside the box thinker, and I applaud you, and I will promote you. You come in any number of shows you want. I'll take you to the Curry Club. I'll introduce you to Amar Mirza, who is a lovely fellow who encourages all manner of people. So whenever the next Curry Club is, you come. Please come.
Sure.
Be my guest.
The interesting thing about what you're doing, there's a lot of people got creativity in them to do this, but they're frightened.
But they're frightened to actually achieve.
Yeah, they're frightened to put their head above the parapet.
Yes, and
and
we
to
know
get
that-
shot down. So what a stupid idea! And we're going to talk about this thing that I'm going to do in a moment, this charity
please.
thing. And there's another stupid idea that somebody had, but it's going to happen.
You can't help it.
No, you think,
You've
well,
got to
what?
make it happen.
You
don't
got to make it happen. It's not going to just drop into you.
So when did you start this Panji idea? When did the name
This
come to
started
you?
about 2 years ago.
So are you selling?
Yes, I sell. The Quayside market.
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
Sunday's Quayside.
Yeah. So I sell.
So
down
which end
there.
are you usually?
I'll
come and film
somewhere
you.
in the middle.
I'll come and film you and promote you. I run a company
That'd be
called
great.
Anand Films.
Excellent.
And it's to promote things like this. Obviously, you're no fit state to pay me, so it's free. Hence,
Sure.
end of story.
Sounds great.
And like that. So I'll cover the Sunday market because Sunday market is one of Newcastle's very
That's part of
strong
its history,
traditions.
yeah.
I've got lots of mainly Pakistani friends who are now millionaires and billionaires who started there. I've got.
Maybe I can be one of them.
You are one of
Well,
them.
you are not.
You are one of them.
maybe. That's not.
There's no maybe. You are-
slight negative talk. You
Yeah.
will be.
You definitely are one of them. And we will encourage you because, anyone with ideas, that's all. Listen, I keep saying this to people. There are 3 parts to the brain: hindbrain, midbrain, and forebrain, the neocortex. The hindbrain snakes have, and the midbrain is mammals have. And the maternal instinct and nationality and sticking with your religion, that's tribal brain. But the top brain, 85%, the creative brain, 85% that Allah, God, whoever gave it to us, is for this work, not for rataya and I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hindu. Yeah, you are Muslim, yes, but do something new. I'm a Hindu, so do something new. Are you a Christian like?
I guess so.
Okay,
But I was baptized. I think.
oh
that's
my
years
God,
ago.
who are you? Our Father
But I
who art in
wasn't. I
heaven,
didn't have
hallowed
any
be
say.
thy
I
name.
didn't have any say in the matter.
Didn't you object like?
Well, I couldn't. I was crying and stuff like that. I don't want to do this, but there they were sticking water in my head and dunking us in a bucket of water and stuff like
Did
that.
you survive it? Like,
Well, it looks like it.
okay, I went to a Catholic school. It's okay.
All right.
I will forgive you. Your sins are
So,
forgiven. No, but the thing is, but more seriously, the brain, the neocortex, the latest brain we have that God, Allah, who's given it to us, is for creativity. That is the only part God has given us that is godly because it creates new things. Animals also solve problems. They also eat food. They also reproduce. They also stay in tribes, but they don't step out and do something. You can teach a monkey to type, but he'll only type what you tell him. But off his own, de novo, what you've done is become
you couldn't create something new.
No, they can't. They won't. Monkeys are clever, If you give them a banana which is hidden and give them 2 sticks, they'll put the sticks together to reach. So they can also solve problems. But monkeys are slightly like us. The genetic difference between a gorilla and me, or you, me definitely, is 1%. only 1%. The difference between an African elephant and an Indian elephant is 50%. So, we don't go into all this. People use religion to hurt each other, country, nationality to hurt each other. And that's why they're tribal. Look what's happening in India. Look what's happening in Pakistan just now. I mean, just because the guy is very clever, he has got no value. Imran Khan. I love the guy. He's a cricketer. He's good looking. He's changing the world. But he has no value because he's not into religion, because he's not into ghuskhori. And those people don't survive. The atmosphere has been so vitiated in our countries. But I respect people like that who step out and say, I'm here. What will you do to me? I'm here. And Britain encourages that. Britain, I really love this country because it encourages that behavior. That's why Asians do well, because they've got the poverty of back home and the open field of Britain. But you take this fellow to Delhi, he'll die in 2 days. Because you're so used to systems.
Oh, yes.
And we have no system there. What you're doing happens there because people have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a santoor instrument. Anyway, so are these online to sell?
At the moment, I'm working on a new website. Because
Okay.
I had a previous one, but it wasn't working too great. So I'm developing a new website.
Are you selling on eBay and stuff like that?
I'll be selling them online through the website.
And what is the website called?
The website is unitepangaea.com.
Unite. It's not United Newcastle.
No, Unite.
Unite.
As in bring it
Bring
back
it together.
Unite, all one word,
Exactly.
unite, pan,
Panjwer.
J.
AER.
AER.
Sorry, AEA. You've got
Oh my
mistake.
God, what a bad spelling.
Say it again.
Or Panji. I'll remember it as Panji.
EA.
G-A-E-A.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know who you remind me
.com.
of? Have you seen Rasa restaurant? Rasa is under the Tyne Bridge. It's a purely Kerala food.
No.
Because most of the Indian restaurants are run by Bangladeshis who are cooks in the ships. And they're selling Pakistani food in the name of Indian.
Of course.
Henna.
Yeah.
If you go to the Japanese restaurant, it's Philippine cooks run by a Chinese but serving Japanese food. But that's the beauty of Britain.
Diversity.
So
yeah.
when I read handicrafted in the UK, I said, God, UK buys handicrafted things from India, Bangladesh, these poor Africa.
Yeah.
But you turn the clock upside down, man.
Yeah.
Your spelling is terrible. The Panjaea. Jaia. Pangaea.
I think it's just the pronunciation. I
No,
might
no.
be getting it wrong.
Panji.
But
But I'm saying, I remember it as Panji, like a sister.
Well,
Panji.
once people have got it, because the thing that will happen there when I was asking you to spell it, it means we've got to have a conversation about how you actually spell the word. So it's getting in the subconscious, isn't
Are
it?
any
And
of these
that's
ties for sale?
they're all for sale. Yes.
Okay. What suits me better?
the pink. The
think
pink and the orange go very well not
Okay.
together.
Because I'll pay you. I'll
Excellent
be.
to have a customer.
Yeah. You have a customer. Yes, you have one in the studio. I'll pay you properly.
Oh, there's a proper label in there. All that spelling is it's there written on the back of the tie.
Yes. So Panag.
P-A-E-A.
Pang. I remember pangs of hunger. Pang.
Pang.
A-E-A. Like Greek names, they are. A-E-A, A-E-A, A-E-A. I shouldn't complain. My name is Anand Vardhan. A-N-A-N-D-A-V-A-R-D-H-A-N. It's such a long name, I don't use it. My surname should be Sinha. My father, being a Hindu guy, said, no, we don't use surnames, just wipe it out. So I come to Britain with an extra long first name and 0 surname. So I cut it in the middle, became A-N-A-N-D. But I don't have a first name then. So on my passport, I'm XXX Anand. And being brown skinned, the English get really worried saying,
And that's
What
porn.
does this mean?
It's the porn version of Anand.
yeah, but I'm always very.
Hardcore.
XXX.
Extreme
That's
Anand.
Triple X is also a rum, isn't it?
Possibly. But
VAT, no, that's 69. It's not VAT XL. I thought VAT 69 was something the
it's
Pope
Foster's
made.
4X. Was it used to be? Was it 4X? They used to have Foster's lager.
So shall I launch a lager called Anand 4X? It sounds Anand 4X. 3X. Okay.
3X.
XXXX. That's all men think about. Okay, it's time for a break and then we'll get on again.
From oldie goldies to the latest hits, from discussions and chat to phone-ins and issues. Spice FM 98.8 FM.
Spice FM is mad for Miller. Newcastle Miller, August Bank Holiday Weekend, Sunday the 24th and Monday the 25th. Live entertainment, stalls bazaar, activities, plus much, much more. Don't miss it. Log on at spicefm.co.uk or newcastlemiller.co.uk.
कम्युनिटी अफेयर्स दियार गैर में बसने वाली अपनी एशियन कम्युनिटीज़ के दरपेश मसाइल पर मबनी टॉक शो जो खबरों, तबसरों और तज्जियों के साथ आपकी खिदमत में हर बुध की रात 10 बजे से 12 बजे तक स्पाइस FM 98.8 से पेश किया जाएगा। इस प्रोग्राम को सुनिए, कॉल कीजिए और शामिल हो जाइए यावर हुसैन के साथ। कम्युनिटी अफेयर्स, आपकी आवाज़।
Welcome to your community announcement answer machine. Please record your message after the tone.
What's happening, people? This is Taz, and I'm supporting Spice FM's Medical Aid for Palestine appeal.
You can donate by going to the Just Giving page, www.justgiving.com/Spice FM Trust Map, or you can text SMAP98 £10 and send it to 70070 to donate £10.
To broadcast your community announcement on Spice FM free of charge, call 019127398888. Select option 3 and record your message. No more messages.
Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and even a good afternoon to you, since all my shows are between 12 to 2. This is Doc here. I want to share with you my knowledge and experience of health. I don't mean illness. Of interview skills with people who I love. That means every single person in Newcastle, whatever their color, whatever their religion, whatever their bias. I have many as well. So do call in, do phone in, do text me, do email me, or just walk into the studios on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, or don't call me on Tuesdays and Sundays. Cheers. Hi, Dr. Anand here, back with two ties and some people as well. We have Steve desperately putting on a grey tie, but the
Beige.
beige, the front and the back don't match. Tell us about that, Rizwan.
So this is just a unique design element that I put on my
Because
ties.
I'm teasing you, handicraft has to be different.
Yeah, of
The world
course,
has become too uniform. People in England complain about the Chinese being the same, but why are all your houses and all your estates identical?
Everything's uniform, yeah.
It's so shameful. Even window colors could change, the tiles could change, your doors change, your door knobs could change. But for saving one copper, one tiny penny, when I came to Britain, I was impressed by the green grass and the red rooftops. Yes, I was. I was impressed by the fact that on roads nobody's going bang, 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 like in Delhi. But I was totally unimpressed by the housing estates, which look all like communist states. Why? So the British like uniformity but pretend they don't.
Well,
What do you think?
they're
You're-
starting to change that, because if you go
Go
back
on.
to the Great Park, they put a hodgepodge of different designs together, but it doesn't work. I think there are
It starts looking like India and Delhi, you know.
possibly, yes. I don't
But
know.
that's called planned chaos. In Delhi,
Is it?
there's total chaos. Rizwan, will you come to India with me sometime?
Of course, yeah.
Because in Delhi, if you go there, there are estates which are illegal. They bought it from the farmer and
Shanty
without
towns, yeah.
shanty. No, but they are very posh.
Okay,
Oh no, not like an African shanty town. You got electricity, which is also stolen.
okay.
Water, which comes from under the ground, and over years they become acceptable. Now, with the government becoming tougher, they will be broken down.
All right.
But the beauty, that's the ugliness of it. It's called Khidki extension. Khidki is a government estate. Extension was this illegal thing. You gave someone some money and chal gaya, thinking nobody will break it, but they are breaking them. But I'll tell you the good thing. I learned music sitting on the third floor of a parapet that extends over the road. Can you imagine someone's house being over the road? Like 3 stories high.
No legs. No legs.
No legs.
And dangling.
And the electricity, he changes the polarity every day. So the meter doesn't record anything. So he's cheating free electricity. Okay? But downstairs, there's a fruit seller selling kela lelo, amrud, kela, all that going on. And a dog barking. And upstairs, he's singing, Nirega, na, 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 na. And I'm sitting with him learning. The beauty of chaotic places is that you have such powerful powers to go into yourself. In the West, it's totally the opposite. You have a studio with carpet on the walls to make it soundproof. We are too precise here and we are too not precise there. It's two different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
But creativity there is unnoticed because everyone's creative. Here you do something unusual and you're amazing. You are amazing.
Thank you
You
very
know.
much.
No, we bought ties, haven't we?
Yes.
For £15 each.
Yes.
With tax-paid money.
Yes.
And why did you stopped a bit? I mean,
I was trying to work out when the tax came into it. Whether...
no, but proper money that the government knows about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I've already been taxed on it. I don't have to
No, that's
VAT
exactly.
on top of it.
Oh my God, that's what I said.
VAT.
Tax to money, yes. So it's lovely that you're doing all these fascinating, interesting things because that's what makes you a human being and a very interesting and remarkable.
Thank you.
You know,
And
no.
how big sky's the limit. This is the thing. I mean, you've
Yeah,
got
I mean,
to.
it's only as big as I can. Well,
Well, this is where you start getting other
ambitions,
people
you know,
involved.
it's
This,
one
we
way.
were. I was a network meeting at A1 Business Minds. If anybody wants to come along on a Thursday morning,
Tell
it's
him.
every other Thursday at Yours Business Networks.
Have you taken his card?
Yes.
So email him.
Well, he's
I'll
got
give
mine.
you
But
mine.
Yours Business Networks on a Thursday morning. We'll meet from 7:15 till 9 o'clock, and we're wanting businesses to come along and help share each other. And forgot why I got talking about this.
It doesn't matter why you were talking because it's to link people. So both
Let's
of
link
you.
people together. Oh yes, what we were talking about this morning is how do you grow a business? Because one of the biggest problems anybody has, there's a lot of one-man bands, one-woman bands. Let's be not sexist about it.
No.
How there was a girl this morning was talking about how do you get the next person in, and that is the hardest thing to do. Once you've got two in, 3, 4, 5 is a bit easier because you've already got. But employing that first person is the most difficult transition. How you move about because you start having to set policies up and proper laws.
Shall I tell you how I'm doing it? I started Anand Films. One morning I woke up like Rizwan and got the idea. I've been videoing from 1978. Home videos. Then I've been doing proper photography for some time. I thought I'm doing it on YouTube for Spice for 5. I thought, why don't I have my own channel? What is this subservience to Spice? And because then you put this, you put that. Now I'm free. But then I asked my son, do you want to come and do some videography? He said, fine. Then I have 2 friends called Sayyid Hassan and Dr. Karamchand. They're fine. So when we're doing the Palestinian thing here on the evening, by the way, there's a Palestinian meeting everyone is welcome to in the Beacon on Friday at 6:30. Week tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. upstairs is a Palestinian meeting. On the 30th, I think. I'll look it up and confirm that. And it's come through David Stockdale of the Labour Party. But that's the thing where Spice FM is very powerful because it links people together. And I like to be the missing link between Indians, Pakistanis, and even the English. One Pakistani fellow said to me, Doctor, aap itne goron ko kyun laate ho? Doc, why do you bring so many white people? I said, before they all leave the country. You know, why shouldn't we have white people, for God's sakes? You know. So, because I film interesting things, Steve and I have just joined a partnership this morning to go to restaurants where how good is your disability access? You know, we won't put the bad ones, so don't be afraid, all you bad guys. But the good guys, please contact us because we'll have a website.
Well,
what's the concept?
Well, the concept is the government for a long time have said about disabled access is that there is money to be had. They've always quoted in this country 10 million disabled people, £80 billion a year.
10 million
disabled people in the UK. Now, this is a number that's 10 years old, so I don't know what it is now, but it's got to be more than that. European, I think I heard recently, £156 billion a year disabled people have got to spend. We are missing out on that. We could get tourists coming in. We've got a flight in from Dubai, so anybody can come from anywhere in the eastern side of the world. Come into Newcastle. Go and visit. Now, if you come in and you've got a wheelchair, where do you go? There's very little information. Now, what we want to do, this concept is called accessible video. We go to a restaurant and you can write about it. You know, you can write that. You've got to then, it's like we talked before about the beach ball. If I describe a restaurant, you interpret my written description.
Yes.
And it'll be different from what you expect it to be.
Yes.
If we stick it on a video, and you can see what it's like, whether I can get through the doors, how big the toilet is, whether there's steps to get up. You make your own mind up visually. You know.
How about making an app?
Well, being there, we'll get into the details of this. I have had an app and wanting people to do reviews and stuff like that. But maybe we'll put it out
because you know, in
restaurant
terms, people don't touch that mic. Don't touch the mic. It's dead. It's Spice mic. Is it coming through? Say something on that.
Hello.
Yeah. No, it's not coming through.
Are you getting off this one? Do we need this more in the middle?
You put it in the middle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think but the thing about that is I've done review sites in the past, and there's lots of them around. They're all are more focused on written stuff, written reviews than now. And I think the big problem is things change. So we might do not next week, we'll have to change. But if somewhere has had a video, and we're going to ideally get more custom for them, because we'll show them how good it is. They might pay us a few quid to do the video. In fact, they will. Will then get it. But they should get that money back by attracting more people in, who will then go, one, they'll be loyal. Once you've found a place that you go, I go to a handful of restaurants because I know I can get in. So I don't go shopping around, because the first thing's, you've got to go to this restaurant, great restaurant. I don't know. I think it's rather on the gated side you were talking about before. Is that the one on the gated side of the bridge, Raza?
Yes.
I've been there once, and I was... It wasn't brilliant, because you got to go up the stairs unless it's changed. But we could get served down below, and it was fine. It was nice food, if I remember rightly.
In the old restaurants, we don't expect them to break the restaurant and make something special.
It's but reasonable adjustment is.
But floor lifts are not that costly.
Oh no, I know.
Being a doctor, I've been in houses of very intelligent people and rich people. They said, instead of having that slow chair lift, I just threw the floor lift. Unless there's children who are willing to commit suicide by jumping.
Well, it was put to us, because we've had our house converted, taking the garage into being a bedroom, so that's downstairs. But one of the options they gave us was to take out the little front bedroom and make a lift go up there. But I think it makes the resale more difficult in the future when you've got to sell something.
But is life about resale? Is life about retirement?
No, I mean, if we were going to live there...
House is like a pair of socks, man. Use it and be damned. Listen, I sold my house for a profit of £39,000. The property was worth 2 million, and in best of times it was worth 6-7 million. Am I worse for it? So people almost prepare for the death rather than enjoy today.
I think it's
who cares about
the thing about it's more the danger of a lift. If you become dependent on it, and they're always breaking down. There's umpteen pubs and restaurants and places that have got lifts and they don't work. Out of order. And somebody was telling me this morning about the one where they said, "Oh no, don't worry, we'll carry." I think it was a father, 85-year-old father, and we'll carry him up the stairs. It was 3 flights of stairs. Well, you can't do that. The guy's he's not as heavy.
Never mind disabled people. I'm so lazy. I want a lift.
Yeah. We should all live on a level. I mean, as I say, that's what we've now got.
But really, the idea of doing what you're doing is phenomenal. And I'll say this, when people say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video with sound and movement and taken well is worth 1 billion words.
Yes.
I went to Anyone for TV. It's a casting agency. Please join it. They make movies, but of quality. And say the World Health Organization wants to tell the Asians to take vitamin D3. They need something to look at. So she gets Asian families or English families according to their needs. And I filmed in one for blood pressure. So Anyone for, and the alphabet N, alphabet E, 14 numerals, .tv. That's her website, Anyone for TV. I went to her and said, look, you got people who want to be actors. So they got an ugly selfie picture of themselves. Just some iPhone rubbish. That's making a lot of noise. Some iPhone stuff. And then some of them are crooked, some of them are sideways. And then they write the description. So I said to my son, Shish, you write it up. I'll take the photographs and we'll charge them £50 a year. If you want to get into acting, surely you can invest £50 before tax. And I said £75 and we'll do a video as well. So, the beauty of those kind of things is that people begin to see video as the only means of communication, because you're seeing movement. I mean, if I want to promote your work, okay, I am a promoter from today, okay? Now, if I go to the Sunday market and see him in action, take a lot of pictures with people buying them, you explaining, especially to someone who's not of our ethnic extraction, because I'll say, Primark mein adde daam da milda. So I don't want that kind of promotion. Because our people, especially, Asian subcontinent, we are living in a very negative mode, most of us.
Yeah.
So badhawa nahi denge. I went for my job. I'm talking about Asians, how we pull each other down. The Hindus think the Muslims are together. The Muslims think the Hindus are rubbish. Nobody is together with nobody.
No.
Sachai to ye hai. I'm going for my job to a Jewish guy who I knew was Jewish. And that's why I would get the job. I knew because he's also a minority, Dr. Colin Leon. I'm coming down the lift from 7th floor, Ward 17, to the Postgraduate Teaching Institute for an interview for becoming a GP. That's what I wanted. I lived in the premises of Freeman Hospital. Coming down, Dr. Sharma says to me, I've forgotten his name, otherwise I would name him and shame him. He says, "Kahan ja rahe ho?" I say, "Interview ke liye." General, kaisa interview? General practice ke liye. He says, "Oh, to goron ke liye." He says, "That job is for white people."
Oh.
I said, "Just shut your mouth." And if I was in India, I would punch him in the face. There's people like that who will put you down. And because he made me angry, I got my interview. In fact, I said to Dr. Leon, I said, "Look, I know this job is for Mr. Day because he's resigned from urology. But will you give me a job?" I'm telling the fellow that I know that you're doing dhandli. You got this job fixed. But will you give me the next job? He said, "Yes." I said, "Then I'll get..." And I got jobs just like that, Because if you're a bit cheeky, as we say, or chutzpah, as
push the boundaries.
Push the boundary, as you say, or chutzpah, as the Jewish people say it in the way that...
people are frightened to do that, again, in a working situation, because they're so fearing of losing their job. And yet, if I've found an experience when I've worked for corporate companies, is that rules are there, but rules are meant to be broken.
Rules are there for duffers, man.
Yes, and for
I drive on the left side of the road, and that kind of rule is okay.
Yeah, but they're there for protection a lot of the time of people up above to say it. But if you come in at a lower level, and you can be a clerk working for a company on £6 or £7 an hour, there's no reason why you cannot reach the top of that company, and you don't have to wait for 7 years to do this and 6 years to do that.
But we listen to negative people.
Yes,
just don't. Seriously, I'm 67 years old, by the way. Anyone who talks negative, I just don't phone them.
Yeah.
Simple.
Disassociate.
I've studied happiness into some depth. They say people over 50 have the capacity to drop people who pretend to be their friends, but are actually emotional suckers. They just suck up their energy.
Yes.
Jo aapko takleef de, dump them. Walk on. It can be a father, it can be a mother.
Dream stealers, they call them, don't they?
What they call them?
Dream stealers.
Dream stealers.
Yes. So,
okay.
You would go with your idea, the Pangea, and somebody say, "Oh, that will never work." That.
Have you had anyone say that? Ye kya kar rahe ho?
I've had a few people.
There you go. But now the thing is, what people do is focus on that. When you say a few people, you say you got 100 people, and 3 people say this will never work. You focus on those 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you haven't got to do.
You
forget about them. Forget about them.
You make allies of people who promote you, not people who demote you.
Absolutely. And this is what we do with the restaurants. There's loads of restaurants we could go on video and say, "I can't get in there, and the toilet's too small, and the steps inside." Nobody wants to see that. Let's focus on the ones that's good and promote them.
Yes.
And then all the business goes to them. And the other ones that's missing out and saying, "Why am I missing out?" Because you haven't made yourselves accessible.
Yes.
Make yourselves accessible. We'll come and video you. You're now in the good books. We'll change the world.
It's good for them. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for everyone.
And we attract. It's good for the region because we then make more restaurants in this area accessible, and that word gets around, and the word gets around globally. There's because of the video, you're gonna see people in India and Pakistan and Middle East, and they're gonna see, "I've got to go to Newcastle. I've just seen this video on the thing. Got to go to Newcastle."
Yeah, it promotes our part of the world.
Get to Dubai. Get on the daily flight from Dubai. 7 hours. You're into here, and you're eating in any restaurant we recommend that night with your wheelchair.
Yes. So though we are using the wheelchair as a medium of getting in, it's promoting Newcastle itself.
No, it is. Well, in general, because it's 2 things. It's right, okay, we're accessible. We're gonna video the food, and they're gonna give us free meal and all that sort of stuff, and we'll say,
of course, and pay us as well.
And pay us, yes. And we'll say, right, ambience is good, the style of the place is good. Here's the access, and here's the nice smiling manager, and all this sort of stuff. And it's just general promotion. So while accessibility is a purpose of it, you don't just focus in on that bit, because that again is thinking, "Oh, we're only going to focus on the wheelchair side." It's almost a byproduct, the wheelchair side, and saying, "Well, look, here we are, a fantastic restaurant. It's accessible at the same time." The whole experience, absolutely.
So basically, what we are saying is, you can use anything if you don't allow people to block you. 3 years ago, I was bankrupt. I'd lost a son through suicide. My marriage had gone. My father had died. My partner complained against me in the surgery, my own surgery. The GMC were at me. Now I've written a letter to the GMC. They're saying, "What happened?" I said, "Excuse me, I've told you in my last letter, I'm not practicing. I've said that to the GMC. You will note, if you have any time, that I'm not on the GMC list as a practicing doctor. Why the hell are you writing to me? Is it a job you're doing?" These are the words. STOP. Instead of FUCK, I wrote STOP. Why are you chasing my tail? I'm not bothered. The GMC is not interested in my welfare. They're such rascals, I was trapped in a sick note saga thing, and I'm the only one who opens his mouth. So I said, sick notes are a bloody waste of time. I'll give you anything. I did not give her a sick note. Everybody else did. I'm the only one who was punished. I was suspended for a month on serious, grievous professional misconduct. Means like raping a patient, stealing money, that level. But my punishment was 4 weeks. Do you know why? Because Dr. Anand, you would lose your clinical skills if you stopped you practicing anymore. Stupid. And there was one Bengali lady sitting on the panel. And the fellow said, why did you say yes? I said, apni bhasha mein. He said, can you speak in English? I said, look, I think in Hindi and speak in English. That's a tease, actually. Just like you think in Welsh and speak in English. So, but you're not allowed to talk. I lost 75,000 pounds in that case. I'd just come from my son's cremation in India. And I wrote to this doctor, the ophthalmologist in Glasgow. I'll name and shame these idiots, you know. I wrote to him saying, look, I've just come back from a bereavement. My own son committed suicide. And I'm just back at work. Do you know what he wrote? And I said, you're trying 5 people together. I don't know these guys. I mean, we know each other a bit. So if there's a crime, the police can still question us because he did it. I mean, I did it. Okay. But there, I don't know these guys at all. And for the convenience of the Sunday Times, the GMC butchered 5 doctors, me most of all. So I paid 75,000 pounds because I don't live in London. I got a solicitor from here. And it was so difficult. And I looked at the stage and I said, as one amongst you will understand. And she looked away, Bengali woman. I thought you're there to look after my brown interests. Oh, she's looking away. I said, oh, you're getting off 450 pounds a day. Good luck. It's all a sham, you know. They know that I'm a good doctor. They know I've got the guts to stand up to them. You know, but they won't because they have to look good to the General Medical Council.
It doesn't fit the system.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Well, I like buckling the system.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's there to be buckled. If we always, well, it's what I always say, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So, you know, that's what we've got to change. And it's people putting, you know, we talked before, putting your head above the parapet, doing something different, making ties, Pangea ties out of bamboo and cotton.
What ties did you call it?
15 quid.
Pangea ties.
Quayside Market every Sunday. Get down.
Looking for that special.
Hi, we're back again. There's Doc here. Obviously, we must be sick of my voice. I am. And we've got Rizwan, who's just about to leave, having collected his pennies. And there's Mr. Charitable, who's loaned me £10. I promised before the court not to leave the country unless I give you £10, Steve. Is that okay?
That's great. Right.
Mr. Steve Wilkinson, you got a witness, sign, done, dusted, gone.
So
okay.
when he hasn't paid in 5 years' time, I'll be using this recording.
Yes.
She's going to put on YouTube. Oh, this bit isn't on YouTube.
No, this bit is, no, it is. What I do is the first 10 minutes I video, because it's so much hard work editing.
Oh, yes.
And,
yes.
you know, so first 10 minutes to show everyone the face and the audio goes on. Yeah. So those who have uncles and aunties to show off too, they use the first part. And those who themselves, for just narcissistic reasons, they listen to the whole bloody thing. so all the sound will...
That'll be me, yeah.
The sound will be on YouTube.
All right.
But I'm leaving at 1:30 to go to Dabbawal, where I'm teaching about ethnicity, diversity, alcohol, and vulnerability. So these topics through Amar Mirza. So you both are very important to be taken to a curry club. Mm-hmm. Amar Mirza started 5-6 years ago with Jaff Ali to start this curry club. It's Asian Business Connections. 70% of the people there are Asian, from the West End mainly, and 30% are English. But the meetings are really cosmopolitan. And big guys come there, you know. Head of the commerce, head of Your Homes Newcastle, Volvo garage owner.
You pay about 15 quid, don't you? And then you go
10, 15, something like that.
Yeah, and then you get I guess you get a meal.
You get a meal, but more than the meal, you get to know people. I hardly ever eat. I'm so busy talking away.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good networking.
It's a very good networking, but it's the name curry is very what's the word, enigmatic and very because it's a lot of Asians there. So the word curry, or they say, and some English people despise it. Oh, it's just a curry party. So he's used that, turned it on its head, and say, oh, it's a curry party. You know, and one of the directors, my very good friend and ex-patient, is Alan Curry. His name is Curry. Right. We haven't christened him. He's called Alan Curry. Where do you find a group like this? You know. We've got a white mascot called Alan Curry. Okay. So we'll let you go and go more on your business. But you know, on this show, you're welcome anytime. Do you know how to listen to Spice? Have you ever listened to Spice?
Yes, I get it in my car.
Okay, but you can get it on your mobile phone with spicefm.co.uk.
Right.
Or have you got a smartphone?
I do, yes.
You can have a app called TuneIn Radio. I'll show you. TuneIn Radio. It's this one. Whoops. Somebody sending a text. That one. Tune in radio.
Okay, so you can tune into the station then
You
and
can
listen.
tune in.
You
Listen
store,
live.
you store it as one of your favourites, and then it'll
Okay.
just go straight there.
Let me find if it's just gone off. Spice FM. We are supposed to be doing health matters. Have you got a smartphone?
I do, yes.
You can have a app called Tune In Radio. I'll show you. Tune In Radio. It's this one.
And that'll be on again.
Yes.
It's a little
So
bit round
that
now when
so
you
there's
go-
about 30 second gap.
for
Because
swearing.
Right.
No, not for swearing. We're not that posh. We can't afford to not swear. No, no. The thing is, it goes through many servers
Oh yeah.
and then comes back.
Well,
There's a bit of a
you see
delay.
that on even.
I think it goes to
HD. If you've got
when
an
it
HD
goes to
television-
China, it's all right there. It goes to Forden, it's all right. Then it goes to my hometown Patna, and then you have to give a bribe to move it on. Okay. So yeah, that's what it is. These people are supposed to be on my show. I don't know why the hell they're not here.
These are knitting ladies.
Yeah, I mean the lady with glasses. Don't say things is going on air. She's very intelligent. The one on the right. I know her hair is blonde, but she's very intelligent.
Is she coming in here?
I don't know. I hope she doesn't think we're on from 2 to 4 because she just looked at me, smiled, and walked away. That's what most women do. Like,
At least you make them smile.
yeah, at least I make them smile. Yeah, at least they pity me. There's a place called Pity Me.
That'll be on again, repeated.
Repeat, yes, pity me. So, ठीक है.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on the show.
Okay, all right. It's great. And do come again.
See you
I mean that genuinely. Come again and again. Come also to the Pakistani cultural tonight.
Right.
Just because your dad is there doesn't mean you're not allowed. You might find it boring because we talk in Urdu and we do old film songs. But if you're free at 7:30, just come and shock your dad
Right.
and tell everyone what you
Come
do.
along.
Aja. So I love networking. See, I'm one person who's generous not with money but with social contacts. I have no fear. If I never see you again, at least I've done some good for you, I hope. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And both of you are just the same. You're not scared living in fear land.
It's the same. One of the things I always follow is given you shall get. If you can give somebody a connection to somebody, we were talking about software before, and
Just tell that blonde lady that she's welcome in the studio instead of starving us.
Right, thank you very much
Okay,
again,
thank
guys.
you. Thank you, Rizwan ji. Thank you. Bye. So that's Rizwan taking his leave. Okay, so why is this lady not coming in? She was supposed to be on from 2. I don't know where the hell they've gone. I'm not trying to lure anyone. We fixed the program for bloody 2.
waving to ladies out of the window, inviting them into the studio.
Will you walk into my parlor? Said the spider to the fly. Okay, so yeah, lovely guy, isn't he?
Yes, excellent.
I mean,
great idea. And
I
think
like
I'm
encouraging
quite
young people.
pleased to have one of his ties, and it really does suit you. The one with a.
I got a link from Awaz FM radio. This girl has written the Harry Potter story, but with a different story. She's taken all the characters. She got 500,000 hits on Twitter. So she came down. Safina Mazhar is her name. She came down with her husband and 3 daughters, all the way from Glasgow. All the way. Can you imagine that? 5 o'clock they woke up. We did a show and gone away. Then I caught another guy who's writing books. So in the Asian community, there are a lot of people like that who nobody encourages because they're not doctors. You know what I mean? Okay. I get lots of WhatsApps. I don't use WhatsApp except for personal reasons, so please don't send me WhatsApps. Text is okay. Email is even better. So I shall be finishing here very soon. In fact, I've told everyone. Who's that now? Okay, someone says, oh, it's not Wednesday. Sorry, I thought it was Wednesday.
Today.
Yeah.
Thursday.
He said, oh, it's on Thursday. Oh, sorry. We'll talk later.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, how involved or not are you with Palestine? What's your
Not
feelings?
at all. I try not to get involved in the politics of it because I think you can. It's again like we're talking about the beach ball. Is this you can look at it from both sides, and you're hearing is what the media tell you. You were talking earlier on about the media can paint any sort of picture they want, and
we are media victims.
yes, and so it's very difficult without knowing. I just want peace everywhere, because I agree with you that we're all people. We can all get on with each other, whether it's race, religion, gender, let's all just pull it together. You're going to talk about equality this afternoon, and we are all equal. We're diverse.
So by focusing on the positivity,
absolutely, yes,
but not ignoring the negativity. But if you do 90% positive and say, well, this is not right, then people love you.
Yeah.
Because if you're just a criticizer and keep saying negative things, then people stop listening to you.
Yeah.
So you lost your vote completely.
I always like to when I see a problem, I like to have a solution. It's very
Otherwise,
easy.
don't talk about the problem unless you're asking other people.
People will say, "Oh, that's a load of rubbish. Something should be done." The amount of times you hear that on the television. Well, what is that something, and who should do it? You should be doing it.
Yes.
And
if you've got an idea,
I won't go to somebody and say, "I'm not very happy with that. I think you should do something about it." Unless I've got some sort of clue. I mightn't have the whole solution, but I want to be able to go and say, "Why don't you try this?" And they may say, "Oh, that's a good idea. You come and do it." Maybe or whatever. That's the kind of thing. But just to say, I'm not happy with this. Something should be done, and
Something
expect
should
the
be
government or whatever it is to do it, or the council.
No, but that's the way to not do something, isn't it? It's an excuse for procrastinating.
Yes.
It's an excuse for I'm powerless. Then
people want, the council should be doing this.
And the book is Shut Up and Move On.
Exactly.
Sumo.
Well, you've seen it at the beginning.
It's not
excellent book.
It's not sumo wrestling. Yes, I'm going to read it. I'm going to quote. Let me
I'm
see.
going to get him in meet Paul McGee sometime. I'm going to get you to go to the PSA and meet him. Nice guy.
Page 27 says, get off the autopilot and take back the controls of your life.
Yes.
So, shut up the autopilot syndrome means become self-aware.
Yes.
Shut up.
We drift.
Shut up blaming someone else and move on.
Yep.
Shut up missed opportunities and regrets. Move on. Shut up being a passenger. Become a driver. Use the sumo. Don't use the victim language. Shut up your life and move it and make it better.
If you want to get this book, anybody, I think the website is sumoguy.com. I think it is.
It's not available on Amazon?
It might be, yes. It's SUMO, Shut and Move On. He's got several books. That was the first.
But who's Paul McGee? Isn't he a
speaker?
Is he not a hypnotherapist?
No. No, you think no? That's Paul McKenna. You think no?
Paul McKenna.
No.
And McGee is the girl who is
that's not. He's not her. Right?
McGee is the magician's.
Yes.
Little
Debbie McGee.
Debbie McGee. So I got Debbie McGee married to Paul, and she passed her title to him.
Well, she is married to Paul Daniels, isn't she?
But he's not Paul McGee. What a lovely formula we have here.
Yeah, so Google Sumo, SUMO. I think it's the sumoguy.com is the website. And you can buy all sorts of books and things to stick on the wall, posters to remind you and think differently.
It works. It works.
Think differently. Because we people dwell in the past and they consider you've got to forget about that and move on and take control of your life.
And don't repeat the same mistakes again.
Well, that's it. You've got to learn from your mistakes.
So you remember the past to the extent that...
To me, there's no such thing as failure in life. I have an outcome. I'm an NLP guy from the past.
Yeah.
You have an outcome and you deal with that outcome and you move forward.
Because calling something a failure is putting it in a label and hanging it around your neck.
Yes.
Didn't Eleanor Roosevelt say, whether you are a success or you're a failure, you're right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
You've decided to be a failure.
Yes.
I mean, there will be situations out of your control, but you don't have to feel bad about it.
That's right.
One of the lady partners who joined the practice, I gave her a room. I said, don't use the tiny room. Use my big room. Why are you sitting in the cupboard where midwives and other lower creatures work from? You're an equal partner. She rewarded me by going totally against me and breaking up the practice. She's now living in Birmingham, having broken the practice up. Because I was nice to her. She couldn't cope with it. However, I said this to the hypnotherapist, my hypnotherapist, Matt Hudson.
Oh, yes.
Do you know Matty?
Yes.
Okay. I said to him, he says, just change it. You are like an Aladdin trapped in a small room. You call it the big room compared to others. It's only 20 feet by 20 feet by 20 feet. It's the biggest room in the building, naturally yours.
Small in the
and it's a more posh room and you've decorated it well and you put plants. But it's still only a room. The world's your stage. So Aladdin or Anand, when will you come out of that oil lamp? Mm-hmm. And people say things like that. When my son committed suicide, the Hindu temple priest says, Dr. Saab, your parking ticket on this planet is longer than his. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's such a small thing and it clicked with me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people make excuses. Oh, he didn't want to kill himself. He must have slipped. For God's sakes, he walked from Elmfield Road to the Tyne Bridge at 9:15, and my now ex-wife passed him and said, "Do you need a lift?" And he didn't say, "Yes, you can drop me at the Tyne Bridge."
Push me off.
So I can laugh about it, and you have to work through these things. Oh, I'll never forget him. No, but you can't just live through him all the time. And we are living, and he's dead.
I think people often dwell too much, and I can understand if you've lost somebody close to you, but there's a time when you've got to remember them, never forget them, but you've got to think about what your own life is and what else you can do for helping other people.
I mean, I really believe that if you help people move on, life becomes so much better.
Yes.
I mean, I think, what is the secret of your success? There must be some secret. You're a happy bunny. And you're not only just succeeding, you're doing out of the box things.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let me tell you, I came and did all that filming.
Yes.
I'm such an idiot. I loaded it on YouTube. While it was loading, and it says now processing, then I deleted it from my computer. So that's about 2 hours work. And I do it with everything to keep my computer fresh and working. It didn't load. So that all is gone. So can we spend the rest of the time, 15 minutes, talking about your work and
right. Well, the project that he's talking about there is a charity challenge that I've put together. Charity challenge.
So you're challenging people to be charitable.
Well, I'm challenging me to do something out of comfort zone to a certain extent, which is one of the always things. And I'm looking for people to sponsor me and looking for businesses to sponsor. I'll tell you the different way of that. So what we have is a thing called WheelChairSteve's Metro 60 Splash Challenge. Now, that's a mouthful.
WheelChairSteve is you.
Me.
Metro 60. Is the metro line.
That's to do with
what is 60
metro stations.
There are 60 metro stations in the northeast. Okay.
Splash is a charity appeal within the Percy Headley Foundation.
So Percy Headley is a school.
A school in Forestall, Killingworth area. Been well established for many years.
Yes.
And they have this splash appeal where they're trying to raise £1 million by sometime next year to build a hydrotherapy pool.
So Percy Headley wants a hydrotherapy pool, and you being in a wheelchair and not comfortable with sitting in a wheelchair doing nothing and knots and crosses, you're going to do something splashy.
Well, that's something like that.
Go on then.
So anyway, what the idea is that on the 23rd of October, myself and Danny Mitchell, who was the fundraising manager at Percy Headley, or will be there, and he's working for somebody else at the moment, but he starts on the beginning of September. We are going to get on the first train at Newcastle Airport at 6:04 in the morning, and we're going to get off at Callerton, the next stop, which will be about 1 minute later. And then we're going to wait for the next train. That's like another 12 minutes. So we'll sit on the platform for 12 minutes waiting for the next train to come on. We'll continue to do that until we've been to all 60 stations. And that should take about 15 hours. And we'll finish about 8, 9 o'clock at night. What we want to do is get people individually to sponsor the usual Just Giving. So there's a webpage called justgiving.com/Metro60 Splash. Or one word, Metro, METRO 60 SPLASH. So that's individual donations. But what we're also looking for is businesses and other organisations, groups of community people, to sponsor a station. And what we ideally want to get is a group, a business to put in a minimum of £500 per station. So we'll have £30,000 there if we can get that. And the idea would be that they will be part of the ceremony when we arrive at each station. Because when we get there, we're only going to have 10 minutes. We'll take some photographs. They can come along with their business banners and all that kind of stuff and show. And so if anybody's interested in that, if you get in contact through me, Steve at WheelChairSteve.com, and we'll tell you more about that. So we'll tell you over the next few weeks. It's going to be 9 weeks today. We'll be telling you over.
So can you repeat that in slow motion?
Right.
WheelChairSteve, that is you.
That's me, Steve.
And you're
WheelChairSteve.com is my email.
Steve at WheelChairSteve.com. And even Gaurav knows why you're called WheelChairSteve. The technical guy, he's cottoned on.
And the Just Giving page is www.justgiving.com/Metro60 Splash.
And can I show off by saying I put in a tenner already?
You have, yes. You were the first to put a tenner in.
You know, if it's to be done, just do it.
Do it, yeah. We've got at least £20 as of yesterday, so we've already got another lot to go. There's another 998,999 or what.
I'll calculate that and tell you. Okay, I'll do that and tell you.
But it's a big number. It's a big
Okay.
number, yet is achievable if you just set your mind to it and say, "Look,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah,
make
yeah,
this
yeah.
money."
Listen,
I'm not expecting this
if you
to be
try
a
to
million.
jump over a horse, at least you land on a donkey.
Yes.
If you try to jump over a donkey, you'll land up on your backside.
Yes.
You land up on the donkey yourself.
But you never know how well something's going. If you get the right publicity and get the opportunities through this and other promotions that we're looking to do over the next 9 weeks.
Listen, if I had a car accident, I'd rather Rolls Royce knock to me than a Lada. It's a bit like that.
Yes.
Even if you fail, but you haven't failed.
No, it's not a fail.
The biggest jump is between your mind and your hand and your mouth.
To believe you can do it.
Yes,
You know,
that's
the thing.
all.
As soon as you believe you can do it,
Well,
you can do it.
as someone who reads the Gita, being a Hindu, sometimes it says, to action alone, you have a duty, not to the fruits. So, and in English ways, we say things like, smell the flower on the way. Don't look for goals and achieving. The journey should be fun.
Yes.
And your journey is
Well,
fun.
if it isn't, it
makes life
you don't
so
get the satisfaction out
boring.
of it, 'cause
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people, you talk about here, people who are in their own business and say, I want to be a millionaire or whatever it is. But they're suffering their life. They're working 27-hour days and they're not having a life on the way there. And
Yes.
they probably won't get there, but they probably never would.
See, I called Gaurav to help us get the playlist working. So he put on the playlist.
Oh, we've got the music at
You
last.
see, we were talking
5
so
minutes left.
but we were talking so casually that he thought we were off air.
Oh.
So he put on Spice FM
So
98.8.
we've done this hour and a half, and it's you and me and
Yes.
talking to each other.
And
Nobody's listening. Out
No. But I'm listening to you. You're listening to him. I'm even listening to myself. What does it say in the
there.
book?
Have we not been on air?
We have been on air.
All right, that's
But he came and put a playlist on, thinking I'm in distress.
All right.
And I told him 1:30 years. I went, never mind. That's how Spice works.
Right.
Okay, so all this will go on air when I
Right.
put it on YouTube. I'll take it from there. Now, the whole point of it all is that there's so many things we are managing. But in NLP terms, there are two kinds of people: the toward people and the away from. I'm definitely a toward person.
Me too.
I spent 350 pounds on the microphones today.
Yeah.
On the way here. That's why I was 10 minutes late.
Yes.
For the mixer that Sandeep has given me. And all I need is how to stream it in. I've got an outside broadcast studio in my pocket now.
Yes. That'd be great to be able to go out and do things.
to go to places where they are doing something interesting. And I won't go to the Mela or something small like that. I want some real meaty stuff. Something where people are
There's got to be something on every
passionate.
week,
Yeah.
And,
Well, first we'll start on the 1st of September. I intend to I don't say hope, I say intend.
yes, intent.
The word hope,
is
try, are hopeless trying words.
Yeah.
So please, people who are listening, if anyone's listening,
I've got a little leaflet. I don't think it says hope.
let me see what this
I don't
leaflet
think it
says.
says hope on there. I think it says we will and that sort of kind of thing.
Okay. So on Thursday, 23rd October, Steve Wilkinson, also ACAM is also known as. It's not ACAS.
No.
Also known as WheelChair Steve.
No, it doesn't work.
Will travel on Tyne and Wear Metro, visiting all 60 stations in one day. And I think you rate it at 15 hours?
About 15 hours.
15 hours. The
12 of which is sitting on platforms waiting for the next train.
Yes, that number 12 came into my head, and I now know why. Do you know why my brain works so well? I take vitamin D3 and omega 3.
All right.
And that's how it works. The aim of the challenge is to raise awareness of Percy Headley Foundation's Splash Appeal. But more importantly, to raise the much needed funds so children at the school can have their own hydro pool. I appreciate the support of DB Radio, who operate the Tyne and Wear Metro. He's the people who operate Tyne and Wear, to make this challenge possible, and I look forward to your support too. That's your support, isn't it? You're asking for.
The people that speak.
You may make donation by visiting www, of course, justgiving.com. Everyone in Spice knows justgiving.com. We've just done it for Palestine. So justgiving.com/Metro 60 Splash. Just remember that. Metro, the thing you climb on, 60 is the number of stations. Splash is what you're doing. And it fits in with the hydro pool and everything. Yes.
Well, Splash is the name of that.
There are other opportunities to get involved in sponsoring a station. For example, more information. For instance, you want the local businesses near those stations.
Businesses sponsor the
Well, the city centre should be awash with millions of pounds,
Yeah. It's just finding the right person to talk to, and getting the decision maker. Sometimes it's not the big businesses, it's the...
when you want some money donated, don't go to Darasol, go to Biker. It's true?
Yes.
They're more likely.
Station, so
yeah, they will donate. Okay.
So I gave my email before. You can get in touch with myself, and we'll talk to you about that.
Okay. So I'm just going to calculate how much. So please spread the word using Facebook and Twitter and the hashtag Metro60 and hashtag Splice Appeal. Splash.
I got to promote the studio.
When I'm saying splash, I'm thinking of Spice FM. So Splice, I splice the words together. So Sandeep is asking if the station's working all right. I'll say Gaurav came in. I have to do so many things, Okay. So on the 23rd is the big day of
9 weeks
October.
Today. So there'll be an outside broadcast for you when you do that. We'll pick up at some station during the 12 and 2 and we'll be, I don't know where exactly we'll be at that time.
Well, listen, I'll be with you all the 15 hours.
It can be, yes.
I'll film the whole thing.
Yes.
With top quality recording. Yes. It can go live broadcast or not. It doesn't matter. Yes. If it goes, that's fine. If it doesn't, it's fine. Maybe I'll have just one camera and lots of cards and lots of batteries.
Yeah.
And I've got my condenser microphone thanks to Gaurav. And I've got the Tascam thanks to Gaurav finding it and returning it to me. It was mine.
And it'll be like people they'll be up all night watching the 15 hours and think this is really great or not. But it'll edit down into something quite nice.
No, you know how I speed things up.
Yeah.
So when you're getting into the station, coming out and saying something, it's fine. But when we're on the train, no, it's a waiting. That's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah. But the waiting is where we're going to have the kind of promotion ceremony with the business that's got them. So if you've got a business that is near a station and you want to be involved in, we'll only be there 10 minutes or so waiting for the next train. But we bring your own business banners and your own staff. Want to get like to Tesco. There's a few Tesco's: Kingston Park Tesco, Gateshead Tesco.
In Kingston Park Tesco, there's a chap who is a community chap to bring people into Tesco.
Mm-hmm.
Find him out and catch him. He didn't come to the show.
Yeah.
Shame on you, but you can catch him for your purposes.
Yeah.
I name and shame him. If somebody doesn't come and doesn't apologize, I'll tell them. I'll tell the whole world. He said he's. Spice is a big station. And a lot of Asians go there. So, you should come in. So, yeah, in Tesco, there is a person who's in charge of promoting Tesco's community outreach.
Yeah, right. I know there certainly is.
And there's a station there.
There's a station, Kingston Park.
Kingston Park and Metro is the biggest business there. And this business is on the other side.
Gateshead, obviously, with the new development at Gateshead, Tesco is very much involved in that. So that's Gateshead. I think the Sunderland, it's probably somewhere on about Stadium of Light or St. Peter's Station. There's a big Tesco there. There's probably others on the route as well. So it's that sort of thing. And then they could bring the staff along and they could wave Tesco banners in the background. And that's an example of the kind of thing we want to do.
Okay, we'll end the show here because I have to go and teach at Dabbawal. And I'll tidy this up and put this on YouTube, send it to you.
Excellent.
Because I've seen somebody who's done South Shields to somewhere and I just speed it up, use the music that you've given me.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks quite attractive,
Oh, good.
And I steal from here and steal from there. Metro trains moving.
Music. It's not really my music. Somebody else.
Yeah, well, there's nothing original on the planet,
Yes.
Okay, so until tomorrow, goodbye from him.
Goodbye, and I'll see you next week where we're going to talk. Oh, next week's a very big show. Have I got time to say about? We're going to talk about alternative treatments.
Yes.
And we've got a guest coming called Nina Joy.
Yeah.
Who 2 years ago was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer, and is still going strong. And we're going to talk about that.
I totally believe in self-help in cancer.
Yes.
I have no problem with people who want to have the standard treatment, but often the treatment kills you long before the cancer will.
Well, that was what was happening. She was told that they couldn't cure it, but they would be able to give her sort of chemo and various things.
And drop her hair and give her
longer. So she said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a hold. And she went to Germany.
I know so many people personally who've done this and succeeded.
She's now, not 100% cured, but she's living a pretty good life. 2 years on. It's 2 years this week, actually, since she was diagnosed.
We'll celebrate her life.
She's going to come into studio with us next Thursday and talk about alternative, whether you follow the NHS guidelines or whether you do something like this.
Okay. Do you want to be sheeple or people is a question. See you next week.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. And he's only 5 and he's a cute little thing and he's eating away. So the reporter said to the man who brought him across, is that your son? He said, no, I don't even know who he is. I found him clinging to a tree or something. I brought him across. So the reporter was very moved that insaniyat, we still have human feelings. So the camera turned on the boy and the reporter said to the boy, Kya naam hai bete? Vikas. Maa baap mar gaye. And he kept on eating. So the guy's not bothered about his parents. He's so hungry. He's right down to the basics of survival, that little boy. He's an orphan. You and I get tears in our eyes, but he doesn't. And that day I decided not to send 50 pounds to the Delhi. You know, Sikhs are quite hardworking and very seva orientated. Of all the religions I met, they put in a lot of effort. So, and they don't cheat, to my knowledge. So I thought I'd send 50 bucks. And I thought, no. So we started Spice Trust. Then again, when was Syria? Massive rising around October, November. So again, a child froze to death. I mean, Syria is a rich country, you know. It's a rich, modern country. Mm-hmm. It's hardly Muslim, you know, it happens to be Muslim, but it doesn't promote that. It's a fairly, okay, there's a king there and all that, but it's a fairly open-hearted, for a child to freeze to death there really takes the cake. And then on Christmas time, we did a huge food thing for the church here. And now we are working for Palestine because children are getting killed. I mean, for 2,000 Palestinians, 70 Israelis have died. Of the 2,000, 75% of the Palestinians are civilians. Of them, half are children. And Israel has the most precise weapons. It knows what it's doing. Hamas can send a rocket, it goes and hits this, hits that. They are doing their best. It's like the British ruling India. My father put bombs on railway lines, by the way. I'm proud to tell you that. He was a terrorist. My father was a terrorist, by the way. Hear that again. My father was a terrorist. My father was a terrorist. I'm a terrorist too. So anybody we don't like is a terrorist.
Yes.
And once that terrorist...
It's again the label, isn't it?
Yes. And once the terrorist wins, he's a freedom fighter. My father is a freedom fighter now, I'll say. And you know, history is written by conquerors. So, you know, all this business. But what I really feel bad that Jewish people have had a very bad past in World War II. It's terrible, 6 million. But everyone forgets that 1 million of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs also died post-partition. Nobody talks about it. They don't matter. They're brown-skinned, you see.
Because the history is not as well documented.
Yes,
you know,
and nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
So Red Indians, 50 million Red Indians were killed. Stalin killed another 50 million people. And Hitler didn't kill only Jews. He killed 10 million Slavs, 500,000 gays, and disabled people he killed.
No chance.
So, you know...
No, I went to the Holocaust Museum in Washington about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was traumatic to see that anybody... I would have been bummed off, you know, and groups, isn't it? You assume, you know, we were talking earlier on about everybody's an individual. It doesn't matter whether you have a disability, what colour your skin is.
Yes. Every individual, every human is completely...
You get labelled.
Yes.
With whatever...
The labels flying around. Yeah. So, you know, we'll talk about disability with you in some depth. You brought me a fantastic book called Sumo, S full stop, U full stop, M full stop, U full stop. Can you read a piece from it? What inspires you? You're obviously a very inspired guy.
Yeah, this is written by a good friend of mine, a professional speaker called Paul McGee, and it's quite a few years ago. And Sumo stands for Shut Up, Move On. And it's a way...
Shut up and move on.
It's getting around the... You know, it's people hanging on to old problems and saying, look, don't bear the grudge or whatever. Think about it. And there's a sort of, I think there's about 10 different... This is a classic one. Where's the beach ball? I like the beach ball one. Let me just find the page. It shows how people look at the world differently.
It's perspectives, isn't it?
Yes. And the thing about...
I mean, Rizwan here, born in the UK, happens to be Muslim, happens to be a Geordie, will be a different perspective from Rizwan that was in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people just label because people are lazy.
Yeah, I think it's like a human nature thing as well. We've got this need to want to pigeonhole everybody.
Then you don't have to work hard and finding out individuality.
Yeah.
Now that you're making ties and all, it's hardly... I mean, your clothes are amazing. I mean, your bush shirt, what is it made from?
Sorry,
The shirt you're wearing.
This is, I think it's like a cotton.
But where did you get it from?
Well, this is just from a high street retailer.
But because you were talking about ties and things, I labelled you with your shirt is also fascinating and interesting. So really, people, I think it's laziness that not finding out. So people in wheelchairs are this. Go on.
Can I read this bit? There's various segments about it. And this one is called Remember the Beach Ball. And if you think about beach ball, different colours, different patterns every side. So it's about really seeing it differently. You know, it's the same beach ball, but your view from one side is different from the other. And this talks about the ability to achieve better results comes through helping others do the same. Whether your needs are emotional, psychological or practical, the chances of them being fulfilled increase when you help others meet their needs. So how can we achieve this? In order for this to happen, we need to develop a greater understanding and awareness of the people we deal with in our day-to-day lives. We need to get inside their heads of the people and we meet in order to see the world from their viewpoint. To explain this further, well, he goes on to talk about examples. But that thing there is, I've got to understand. There's no good me telling you this is what the world's like. I've got to understand how you see
how your eyes see the world.
And that's what we have the problems with.
Well, in counseling, they teach you to walk in the Red Indians' moccasins for a mile to see what it feels like being somebody else.
Well, that's what I've always pushed about getting people to try and spend some time in a wheelchair, because it's no good telling people how you kind of get into places and stuff like that. But if you say, well, sit in that wheelchair and spend a full day, not just half an hour. So, that was interesting. I want business leaders and I want council leaders and politicians
to really feel
to do the normal day's work. Not just to go in for a little while and do something false.
Just for the photographs.
Do your own day.
Yeah.
What you would do, you get up in the morning, you've got to get to work. So instead of driving the car, you've got to go on the bus. Well, that's difficult going on a bus. You've got to get on a train. Difficult going on a train. You've then got to get into the offices where you work. Difficulties again. Go out for some lunch. All those sort of things. Now, when it relates to what you would normally do, you understand it better. Putting somebody in a wheelchair for half an hour to see what it's like and push it round. That's a different thing.
Thank God for that. I'm not in there. Yeah. I'll pity them, but I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, the pity is another thing.
Yes,
that
pity puts people down.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't want anybody to pity me. If I didn't have the wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to get out and about. So
but there's a place called Pity Me, isn't there?
Yes, somewhere in Durham, yes.
What kind of people live there?
Poor people that say, pity me. I don't know.
What a name. But empathy is different from sympathy.
Yes.
The words mean the same technically, etymologically. Sympathy means symbiosis means together. But sympathy in ordinary English means putting someone down, actually. Poor you, there. Oh, you poor Asian. Oh, you poor Muslim guy. Oh, you poor guy Hindu. Oh, you poor guy in a wheelchair. But empathy is seeing it from their eyes, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So one friend of mine's wife asked me, what religion are you? Because you're always on the radio talking about different religions. I said, look, I was born in a Hindu family. I grew up in a Christian school. My partner was until recently Jewish. But when I go to the mosque, I'm as much Muslim as you. And when I go into a church, like when I go to Goa, there's the body of Francis Xavier there. And I could say, the dead body is still there. As a Muslim, you would say he should have been buried. As a Hindu, I'll say he should be cremated. But he is there. I get tears in my eyes. That compassion to reach out. It's a very high level to see the world through somebody else's eyes. And I think you're not a human if you can't reach out. I really believe that. If I can't see your troubles and feel them. So, we started Spice Trust only because I saw a child, the story goes like this. I was watching what's going on in India last year, massive floods and all that. Chalo, garib desh hai, what can we do? And then the reporter saw a man bringing a child across the very shallow river, put him down and gave the boy food, boy called Vikas, because you're disabled.
Yeah, you're just no use to society, and in his society anyway.
And in India, we got the freedom ultimately through Mr. Nehru and Mr. Gandhi. I say that with some sneer. But the older ones that killed themselves, like Bhagat Singh, went and hanged himself by putting a bomb in against the Brits, against General Dyer, because his whole family was blown up. We don't talk about them. It's all dynastic. And the point I was going to make is Subhash Chandra Bose fought from outside India. He said to the British, look, half the soldiers who are fighting for you are Indian, meaning India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and most of them are Sikhs. And he said to the soldiers, can you stand in uprising against the Brits? They said, nahi, namak khaya hai. We owe our loyalty. So that was his problem. Then he goes to Hitler and says, please help. Now, Hitler hated the British, but because the guy was brown, he was so racist that he said, no, I won't help. Then he went to Stalin, who said, no, I don't trust you. You were probably hand in glove with the Brits. It's amazing. I mean, this is all recorded history, So I like talking about these things because people don't know the truth. It's all Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah, Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah, Gandhi, Nehru. What did these guys do except divide us? And do you know that India is not independent even today? India is not independent. Do you know who gave Mr. Mountbatten gave his wife to Nehru and in exchange gave the power to India. Nehru took over the power of the Mountbatten chap into India. They didn't make India independent. They handed over power. It's like giving the keys. And Nehru gladly accepted it. So there's a lot of jiggery pokery goes on. How do you feel knowing and talking about these matters? I mean, you're born here. You bothered about any of this? Rizwan?
I don't know.
It's an old hat, isn't it?
It's oh yeah, it's
Buddhon ki
done,
kahani.
it's dusted, it's
Ah.
over.
Then how can we make India and Pakistan not fight with each other? We are the same people. We eat the same food.
Yeah.
We talk the same
Well,
language.
it's funny you should say that because, like, setting up this small company of mine.
What's the company called?
It's called Pangea.
Panjawar.
Pangaea.
Pangea. What does that
Pangea.
mean? What does that mean?
So what it is it's an old scientific theory that before the dinosaurs, before humans inhabited the earth, all the continents were all part of one landmass. Yeah, so
It's not. It's an actual theory. The
Yeah,
different
so-
tectonic plates.
yes, exactly.
The
So
India
they were all
plate,
one continent.
Europe plate, and all were different.
Yeah,
Huh?
they were all one. Australia, the Americas,
In fact, the Indian plate
Antarctica.
pressed into Asia and created Mount Everest like a fold.
Exactly, yeah. So that when all those continents were one,
Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, Dr. Anand here. The CD is not working, the USB is not working, but we are working. Will someone come and help, please? We're trying to run a studio here. There's no feed working at all from all my devices, so you'll have to bear with my voice. And we've got some very interesting people in the studio. We have fantastic WheelChairSteve. Otherwise, officially on Sundays called Steve Wilkinson, and we'll hear about what wonderful things he's doing. And we've got Rizwan Khan here. Wasn't that the hero in My Name is Khan and I'm Not a Terrorist?
My name is Khan, and I'm not a terrorist.
So, आप Rizwan Khan हो.
yeah, I am Rizwan Khan, and Mr. President. I'm not a terrorist.
क्या बात है? How did you like that movie?
It was okay. It was not too bad. A little bit far-fetched.
No, but the reality is like that. If you're a Muslim, you're automatically a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I'll give you an example. I'm filming Palestine a lot. You know, when I get engaged in an issue, I'm like a British bulldog. Ghus gaye to sale ghus gaye.
Yeah.
So I'm filming that. I went to a lot of people acting as if they are dead. So there were 500 people. Okay? Of the 500 people, about 460, I counted, were white people. Maybe there was one Muslim like Daniel. Maybe. So maybe there were about 50 Muslim people. Fine. Out of them, there were about 12, 13 people who were women. And obviously Muslim koi hijab hai, koi kuch hai. Ya Punjabi clothes they are wearing. Chalo, wo bhi theek hai. There were 3 women in hijab, 2 in a burqa. 2 in a burqa. And guess what? The picture in the Evening Chronicle was that one woman in a burqa. As if there were 500 people in a burqa.
Yeah.
So the media, and I say this loudly, Evening Chronicle, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know, David put up Stockdale put up the Palestinian flag. That's a nishani thing. It wasn't serious that Palestine is coming to conquer Britain, but it's like saying we support you. People are dying there, and all these little things they might see on YouTube gives someone a little hope, isn't it? Yeah. So the media is straight away, I'm talking quite seriously now, just because your name is Rizwan Khan, and I know the movie is, but the reality is like that. My best friend is Sayyid Ahmad, Hassan Ahmad, right? He goes to America to look for a job. 7 days later, 9/11 happened. Do you think he'll get a job with a name like Sayyid Hassan Ahmad?
Nope.
No, he didn't. I mean, it is like that, isn't it? I mean, racism.
Well, this is judging people.